What is the Coombs method? The Coombs method is a method of painting on glass. It's a method that I developed myself. My life's work has been in stained glass. In traditional stained glass painting, you are quite restricted as to how you can paint because of the techniques that were used and have not been innovated upon for hundreds of years. Most traditional glass paints dry very quickly. You're fighting against time. I want to paint with the beautiful fluency that I would do anything else. I want it to be like dancing across the surface. And I tried various different materials that would allow me to do that. Because propylene glycol is non-toxic, it's perfectly safe for children to use. I do want to democratize art making, and I want everybody who wants to paint on glass, that's from complete beginners and children, octogenarians, and people who haven't got a steady hand, everybody. I want everybody to be able to paint easily on glass. And I also want any artist who works in any media whatsoever to be able to translate their skills into glass painting. In order to do stained glass well, you have to learn a lot of different things. You know, you've got to learn about architecture, structural engineering, you've got to learn craftsmanship, you've got to learn about how brushes work. And that's before you even begin to talk about your content or your ideas or your iconography. You need an instructor with you. And what I want to do with this legacy project is I really want to train people to teach my method. There's one person that I know of and have been communicating with who has self-taught to paint using my method more brilliantly than many, many people who've been to workshops. And his name is Luis Gianera, and he's in Argentina. Luis is also a professional educator. He teaches at a teacher training college. He invited me to sit in on his critique with his students, the last workshop that he taught. And it became very clear to me that I have a huge amount to offer him to make his teaching more successful and therefore spread the method more broadly across the world. He's also willing to teach online. Sadly, I know that I will never teach online. You know, the amount of time that would be required is more than I'm willing to invest, and I know that. And even though I would still say that an in-person workshop is the best way to learn, in due course, enough people will be trained to offer in-person workshops all around the world. So this is not a stretch to believe that we can do this. So what I'd like to do with this particular campaign, I'd like to raise the money to bring people into my studio, people like Luis, to have teacher training experiences. I want them to come for 1 week and observe me teaching. I want to give them all of my class segments. I want to give them all of the information I have for them to take away and share. What I'd really like you to do is to donate money to help me bring my very first trainee teacher to Vermont so that I can unpack everything that I know and give this to somebody who can really run with it and really share it with the world.